The silence was heavy, heavier than the debt, heavier than the lies. Julian stared at the screen. The numbers were red. Every line. His phone buzzed. One notification. From Elena, not a text. A link. The headline screamed his name. CEO resigns. Embezzlement scandal. He looked up. Through the glass walls he saw her. Elena. In the hallway. Calm. Composed. She didn't smile. She didn't gloat. She adjusted her blazer, turned, walked away. Julian's breath stopped. He finally understood this wasn't bad luck. This wasn't a mistake. This was architecture. 18 months earlier, Julian had everything. The company, the reputation, the wife who made him look complete. Elena was the reason he slept at night. Until she found the messages, the hotel receipts, the name he whispered in his sleep. Vanessa, his colleague, his partner. In more than business. Julian believed he was untouchable. He had built a fintech empire from nothing. And Elena? She was his anchor, his confidant, his wife. She knew every password, every secret, every account. He trusted her with his life, but trust is just leverage waiting to be used. Julian was arrogant. He treated people like assets, useful until they weren't. He thought Elena was grateful for the diamonds, the trips, the status. He didn't see the cold calculation behind her eyes. He didn't notice that she never asked for more. She only asked for access. The betrayal wasn't sudden. It was surgical. Julian had started cutting corners, minor tax discrepancies, offshore accounts. He told himself it was for growth, for the company. Elena listened. She nodded. She poured him another drink. "You're so smart, Julian," she would say. "No one will ever catch you." She fed his ego. She validated his risks. And while he was busy building his empire, she was building her exit strategy. She copied files. She recorded conversations. She mapped his network. She didn't confront him. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She waited. The shift happened on a Tuesday. Julian came home early. He found Elena in his study. She wasn't snooping. She was reading a book on behavioral economics. She looked up. Her eyes were empty, not angry, just observant. In that moment, Julian felt a chill, but he dismissed it. He suffered from 3 fatal biases, and Elena knew exactly how to weaponize each one. Julian had invested 10 years, millions of dollars. His reputation. He believed he couldn't stop now. He couldn't pull back. So he kept doubling down on risky decisions. Elena encouraged this. She whispered, "You've come too far to quit." She kept him. Investing in a failing lie, Julian believed. He was the puppet master he thought he controlled. Elena. He thought he controlled the board. He believed his intelligence protected him. Elena let him believe it. She played the role of the supportive wife. She asked innocent questions. She let him explain his complex schemes. By letting him explain, she made him feel superior. And by feeling superior, he became careless. He thought he was teaching her. In reality, she was auditing him. Julian had won so many times. He had beaten regulators. He had crushed competitors. He believed he was immune to consequences. He ignored the subtle red flags, the missing documents, the strange calls Elena took in the other room. He dismissed them because he was Julian. And Julian always won. Elena relied on this arrogance. She knew that if she acted too aggressively, he would suspect her. So she moved. Slowly, incrementally, like erosion. There were no dramatic confrontations. No slammed doors. Elena adopted the gray rock method. She became uninteresting, unemotional, boring. When Julian ranted about his enemies, she offered neutral responses. I see. That's interesting. She drained the emotional energy from their interactions. This made Julian lower his guard completely. He stopped seeing her as a threat. He started seeing her as furniture. And furniture doesn't testify. She used strategic incompetence. She pretended to struggle with the new accounting software. Can you show me again, Julian? I'm so bad with tech, he laughed. He showed her. He gave her admin rights. He handed her the keys to the kingdom, thinking he was helping his helpless wife. She used information asymmetry. She knew everything about him. He knew nothing about her. She created shell companies, not to steal money, but to create a paper trail that led back to Julian. She set traps, small ones, a missed deadline here, a misplaced file there. She watched him scramble to fix them. She watched him make more mistakes in his panic. She was not reacting. She was directing. It started with a routine audit, or so it seemed. Elena had anonymously tipped off the regulators, but she didn't give them everything. She gave them just enough to start digging. Julian panicked. He tried to cover his tracks. He moved money. He deleted emails. Every move he made was exactly what Elena predicted. He was dancing to her tune. She had planted evidence in his personal cloud storage, evidence that looked like he was trying to hide fraud. When the investigators arrived, they didn't find a clean slate. They found a man desperately trying to burn down his own house. Julian called Elena. Help me. He begged. You know where the files are. You can fix this. Elena stayed silent. She watched him unravel. She watched his confidence shatter. The illusion of control evaporated. He realized he was not the puppet master. He was the puppet. The sunk cost fallacy trapped him. He couldn't admit he was wrong. So he lied more. And the hole got deeper. The overconfidence effect blinded him until the very end. He thought he could outsmart the law. He didn't realize the law was already in his living room. Now Julian sits in the dark. His career is over. His assets are frozen. His reputation is ash. He waits for the police. He thinks about Elena. He wonders if she loved him. He wonders if any of it was real. But love is irrelevant. Strategy is absolute. Elena didn't destroy him out of anger. She destroyed him because he was a liability, and she was an architect. She didn't need to shout. She didn't need to fight. She just needed to wait. Betrayal is not a crime of passion. It is a calculation of power. Those who underestimate the quiet once often find themselves screaming into the void. Have you ever underestimated someone who was quietly planning? Write in the comments. Your experience may be valuable for others.